Alright, guys, today we're talking about LISS, or low intensity steady state cardio. We've talked about it in the past. It seems to get overlooked all the time, especially when we're talking about burning fat, because people think that they have to do high intensity interval training, sprinting, going really hard in order to burn the maximum amount of fat. And while there's definitely some benefit to doing higher intensity cardio, there are massive benefits to doing low intensity steady state cardio as well. One, and this is probably the biggest one, at least for my clients, is that it's very easy to do. So if you're someone who does a lot of high-intensity interval training, you might find that your mind starts to race during those sprint intervals. You might find yourself thinking about, oh, how am I doing this? Why did I push myself so hard? Why did I do this workout? And that's because insulin resistance is usually what leads to excess body fat. So if you have cardiovascular disease, for example, then it's a good idea to ease into exercise and work your way up. And then also, you may want to work with a physical therapist to develop a plan that works for you specifically. And if you're healthy and you want to improve your cardiovascular health, if your goal is to burn fat, then low-intensity steady-state cardio is a great option. Also, if you want to burn fat and look your best on the beach this summer. So if you're ready to go ahead and take action, stop wasting time. Just click the link below and you can get started today. I'll see you guys soon. In fact, I think it should be everyone's primary form of cardio. And then, if you want to add in some high-intensity interval training, you can do that as well. And that might mean starting with low-intensity steady-state cardio. But regardless of your current health status, I think it's a good idea to ease into exercise if you're new to it. And then from there, you can work your way up to higher intensity stuff. So if you can improve your insulin sensitivity by doing low-intensity steady-state cardio, that's going to be beneficial for burning fat. And I should note that just because it's low intensity doesn't mean that you may not improving your cardiovascular health. Just because it's not really that challenging doesn't mean it's not effective. In fact, one of the best studies on low intensity steady state cardio found that it was just as effective as high intensity interval training for improving cardiovascular health. Things like that. And while you can definitely clear your mind on a walk, you can also use that walk to listen to a podcast. You can listen to music. You can call your friend. You can do whatever you want. Another great benefit of low-intensity steady-state cardio is that you can do it right after a weight training session. People think that they need to do these crazy workouts, sprinting, all this stuff in order to burn fat. And while that stuff works, low-intensity steady-state cardio also works. And it's very easy to recover from. It's a great way to get your heart rate up, improve your cardiovascular health, burn fat, and just overall improve your fitness level. So if you're looking for a simple, easy way to burn fat, look no further than low-intensity steady-state cardio. Like I said, it's very easy to recover from. So if you have a hard time fitting in a separate cardio session during the week or on the weekends, you can just do your weight training and then hop right into a low-intensity steady-state cardio session right after that. It's easy to recover from. Like I said before, you can do it every single day if you wanted to. And I know that sounds kind of boring, but that's the beauty of it. There's no special equipment required. All you need is a pair of shoes. So if you want to go for a walk outside, you can do that. If you prefer to stay inside, you can watch TV and walk on a treadmill. You can row while watching Netflix. You can do whatever you want to do as long as you're getting that low-intensity steady-state cardio in. So the fact that it is easy to do means that people stick with it a lot longer than more intense forms of cardio. And if you're new to exercise, it's a great place to start because it's very comfortable. Like I said, you're not breaking a sweat. You're not really challenging yourself all that much. So you can just get out there, do it, and then build up from there. In fact, even if your goal isn't to burn fat, there's still a lot of benefits to it, which I want to talk about today. So let's go ahead and dive into this. And remember, calories are just another form of energy. So if you burn a lot of calories from a low-intensity steady-state cardio session, you can eat more food. And if you're in a calorie deficit, that should lead to fat loss. Now, I will say that it is more efficient to burn fat by doing high-intensity interval training because you burn a lot of calories and you elevate your metabolism for a longer period of time post-workout. But if you're already doing high-intensity interval training, adding in low-intensity steady-state cardio sessions, it's not going to hurt. It's only going to help. And if you raise someone who can't tolerate high-intensity interval training, or you just don't enjoy it, you don't like it, you don't want to do it, then low-intensity steady-state cardio is a great alternative. Now, the first thing I want to mention is that I am not against doing other types of cardio, or any other type of training for that matter. This isn't an either-or situation. I actually recommend doing a variety of different things. But one of the main reasons why I like to include low-intensity steady-state cardio is because it is so easy to recover from. So if you have a heavy lifting session, you have a long run, you do a conditioning drill, something that's really taxing on your body, the next day you can jump right back into another heavy lifting session without feeling the negative effects from the previous day, which is really nice, especially when you're trying to build muscle strength, power, things like that. If you're just doing high-intensity interval training over and over again, you're gonna be sore. You're also gonna be very fatigued mentally and physically from the high-intensity sessions. So the days that you don't feel like doing anything, instead of taking a complete day off, maybe you can just go for a walk, do some low-intensity steady-state cardio. But what exactly are we defining as low-intensity steady-state cardio? Well, basically it is any type of cardiovascular training where you're already working at a low enough intensity that you can hold a conversation, you're not really breaking a sweat. It's not uncomfortable at all. You could technically do it every single day, multiple times per day if you wanted to. Now, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that, but that's how easy it is on your body. So some examples would be cycling, walking, jogging, swimming, rowing, elliptical trainer, anything that gets your heart rate up, but not so much that you can talk to someone if you were doing it. Now, I will say that there are some scenarios where you may need to work up a little bit more of a sweat if your goal is to improve your cardiovascular health, but most people fall into the category where you can just keep it nice and low intensity and you'll still see some great benefits. And what are those benefits, you might ask? Well, no. Another benefit is that since it's low intensity, you can keep your mind occupied with other things. Next benefit is that it burns fat. Now, it doesn't burn quite as much fat per hour as high-intensity interval training, but it burns a lot of calories. Another benefit is that it improves insulin sensitivity. That's actually one of the best ways to burn fat. Now, of course, like anything, there are some exceptions. Now, if you have cardiovascular disease or you're recovering from an injury, it is a good idea to consult with your doctor first to see if you can do low-intensity steady-state cardio. So that about wraps it up. I just wanted to revisit this topic because it does seem to get overlooked all the time. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel.